Christians have a sinful nature? The short answer is no. We have a new nature. We are partakers of God's divine nature. If you're a believer in Christ, then you're the new self, you're a new creation. Your spiritual nature is certainly not sinful. But you still sin, don't you? Why is that? Well, because of old attitudes and old actions that you still adopt. You can still walk by the flesh, right? You can still walk in worldly ways. You can think and act in ways that aren't consistent with your new spiritual nature. But you don't have two natures. You're not two people. You don't have two selves in there. Remember, Romans 6 tells us that your old self was crucified. Galatians 2:20 says, I have been crucified with Christ. I no longer live. Paul was talking about his old self, his old nature, if you will, who he used to be in Adam. And now he's a brand new creation in Christ, and so are you. So what's up with sinful nature anyway? Well, the Greek word is sarx, and it's best translated as flesh. I brought this up to Zondervan, who published the NIV Bible. You know, the New International Version, which used the phrase sinful nature for many, many decades. And as a result, lots and lots of Christians looked at themselves as sort of being two people with two hearts or two selves or two spiritual natures. And I told my publisher, hey, I don't think that's the best way to express it. And after I registered my concern with them, it was, well, about 3 years. The committee for the NIV Bible met again, and they had had a number of people who brought that issue to the table. And lo and behold, years later, they changed it. That's right, they changed it. They changed it so that sarx would be translated as flesh instead of sinful nature in most of the instances in the new NIV Bible. And that's awesome. Now, when we read it, we can see very clearly that, hey, I've got a new nature, I'm a new self, I'm a new person in Christ, and yet I might struggle with some stinking thinking, with some worldly perspectives. Occasionally we might walk by the flesh or set our minds on things of the world, set our minds on the flesh. But our identity is in Christ. We're in the Spirit now. Our spiritual nature is one with Jesus Christ. We're one spirit with the Lord. Is this just semantics? Hardly. Imagine being told that you're sinful, but you got to live holy, that you're bad, but you got to live good. That's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for failure. What's the truth? Well, you're a child of light, so walk like children of light. Do you see? Do you see how this matters? If you believe you're dirty and distant and sinful at the core, then you're going to act that way. But if you recognize, you know what? The old me is dead, buried, and gone. I'm a new creation. I'm different at the core. I'm not like the guy next door. Then you can think and walk in brand new ways. And when you do, you're simply being yourself. You're being who God made you to be. You're being a child of God who is permanently in God's Spirit.